Okay, so my name is William. Today's video is called "What Does the Bible Say About the Volcanoes on Mars?" Yeah. So now I'm talking about now I'm talking about that now. Well, here's one of the volcanoes on Mars. Well, here's the biggest. Well, here's a picture of the biggest volcano on Mars, Olympus Mons, right here. So there's more than just that. So. And to learn about the volcanoes on Mars, other volcanoes on Mars besides Olympus Mons, I just have to talk about. Yeah. Now, the Bible does not say. Well, it is true the Bible doesn't really say anything about the volcanoes on Mars, but we can still learn about them and how they prove the Bible anyway. So, yeah, I want to show you how volcanoes prove that Mars isn't billions of years old. It's only about thousands of years old. So I have an article from Tim Curley, PhD. So called this is right here. Many Martian volcanoes made by mud flows. So 10,000s of volcano-looking features exist on the northern woodlands of areas across Mars. In the past, volcanoes have been thought to be caused by lava flows in the planet's interior. However, this new study from journal Nature Geoscience have been hosted these volcanoes been a flow mud, not lava. Printer Bros from the Czech Academy of Sciences in Prague and colleagues where several institutions across Europe conducted 21 mudflow experiments. Many of their experiments use sub-freezing temperatures and exert pressures less than that of on Earth and attempt to simulate conditions on Mars. The results surprised the scientists. Bros explained. Before the experiments, we believed that the entire flow would freeze in seconds and it would stop moving. But once you build a crust, the mud is not exposed to the atmosphere anymore, and it can remain liquid and move under the protection of the crust. They prepare their mud flows to the way of Pahoho. Lava flows behave on Hawaii. We found that low phygosity mud under Martian conditions promulgates differently from on Earth because of rapid freezing and the formation of the icy crust. Instead of experimental mud flows from terrestrial Pahoho lava flows, the liquid mud spilling from ruptures in the frozen crust and the refreezing of the new flow loop. The authors concluded that mud volcanism can explain the many volcanic landforms across Mars, and that ground checking will flow scientists to know for certain. The science team knows speculated for sources of this mud in particular. The origin of water under the surface are explained in these mud volcanoes. Large outflow channels in ancient terrains of Mars has been interpreted by the products of catastrophic flood events. The rapid burial of water-rich settlements have would be flooding could have a submarine volcanism, which texture sediment of water mud and erupt to the surface. Circa scientists have employed surface of water flooding on Mars, and explained many landforms, even without direct physical evidence of any water flow. In contrast, here on Earth, many limestone attacks were contrasted by runoff of the global flood, and that we can see and touch and even raft though. Jake Hebert recently reminded us of this irony, using an unfortunate invitation for canyons on Mars. It's also striking that emerging geologists think canyons on Mars have caused and streamed rapidly by water, even if scientists observed that were rapidly carved canyons here on Earth, and even though its strategy flows rapid of origin of the for Grand Canyon. For second scientists claiming that the Grand Canyon was slowly carved out over millions of years. Although Mars has no liquid surface water today, these canyons indicate that may have been catastrophic water flow in the past. Marine scientists may remain blinded that the obvious catastrophic flooding of our Earth, a planet that's still covered by over 70% of water. Now, Mars catastrophe. It has been a catastrophe. So, okay, so opposite halos was an impact based on Mars. There's this volcanoes, the largest volcanoes in our solar system, and directly opposite halos impact a volcano called Pytria. Okay, Halo Pytria was is the largest Martian volcano by the surface area, by coming off the surface plateau. There's this plateau is Valles Marineris, the largest known valley in the solar system. But the unlikely geographic relationship between gigantic features and these cause and effect relationship between them. This implies a channel Martian escapes. Mars. Okay. Like a generation between geological features that cause the issue between them. This applies the global Martian catastrophe comparable in scale to the Genesis flood. The twin rovers, Opportunity and Spirit, have provided evidence in the support of Martian geological catastrophe. Data from Opportunity from orbit to show that land and area. The catastrophe flooded from the south, forming large plant zone in the north. Current data provide a starting point for a young Mars catastrophe geologic model allowing the formation of the core young Mars model. Okay, keywords: astronomy, Mars impacts volcanoes, halos. There's this plateau and Valparaiso and Valles Marineris. Okay. This is flood. So, okay, this idea is this Martian catastrophe, but that is twin over Opportunity and Spirit. Opportunity has been landed of the area, so it's just a flood. It's doing claims having a long ascending sea. Okay, now Opportunity is on Mars. Even on Mars, the atomic geologist has so locked in the idea of geological ages, the geological column. And so, and when they use different layers of rock, features, researchers at JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, are already claiming that rock layers over 20 are billions of years old, and even before radio telescope had been measured at Jing 2005. And it's stated that these layers have different approaches of Martian history, despite evidence that they have our local occurrence. They have this base of the perceptions of by of this solar system forward, even if this end of time rocks is really dated. Even formation now, just so you know how old are it is results and discover contamination with to make public. The creation opportunity. Make presence of the opportunity to build a planetary geological history from scratch. For more of the idea because of the JPL's Martian probes we built on the internet. Mars, you can study by the smallest of budgets. We're going to tell you of Mars, of Martian geological history. We use against creations in the future. But because of the ability of data creations to have the ability to prepare in advance. Okay, now it says Martian geographic qualities. Hellas is not the only largest basin on Mars. It's one of the largest known impact bases of our solar system. Hellas is a basic crater is about 2,100 kilometers. Okay, that's all you know. It's a source. It's great about 2,100 kilometers, or 1,200 miles in diameter, or 9 kilometers, 5.6 miles deep. Some hill is about half the size of the continual. I mean, of the size of the continental. Continental United States, while as steep as Mount Everest is high. So yeah, it's half the size of the continual United States. All right, so it means it's about well, it's billions. It's also billions. It means it's also about half the size as China, and but also give it Mount Everest is high. So, Hell's center was located by 70 degrees east and 40 degrees south. The bottom of the hill is only a place on Mars as is very pressure for liquid water to stay. Okay, the zero of the hill's impact at a stage about 1.30 feet and 10.6 power. That's 1,004. The use of 197 times 10 to 11. To the 11th power megatons, which is equivalent to 4 times 10 to the 12th power, and to ground aside of the drop on Hiroshima. Okay, Department of Energy, 2000. Okay. Okay, so we're on 20. Okay, 2000 for the rovers. Okay, so we're talking about on Mars since you have some back away. The idea for both rovers found that the Martian soil is largely volcanic dust. That's a JPL ACU 2004A. NASA GPO Cornell ASCU 2004 C. The many of the rocks examined by these rovers as a result of a volcanic rock. NASA JPL Cornell ASU 2004B. For more than many of the rocks seen, spirit are broken and evidence of damage impacting of the ground. We're taking that on the region of Mars. You've seen that it was sort of strange even from Mars. So it was darker, line up at sites. And that's a JPL. Okay, okay, AS 2040. Okay, NASA. Okay, Carl. Okay. Is there a copying of the rocks, a video of the evidence of laid down of NASA kernel of the ASU 2004F, NASA kernel as a 2004G, and okay, and there was also a range of the rocks. Okay, no nodes. Okay, so figure 2, and so we have 6 of a rock, figure 3, and these are subsystems of expert 3D of this so they are largely different. See a rock, see figure 4, and okay, and so let's do other union. Okay, platinum contains sulfate, which are byproduct of the reaction of sulfuric acid and water. Okay, Rondi platinum shows evidence of large amounts of water flowing in a catastrophic manner. Of the lesser size of the secret 5. Okay, the materials of the flow channels, but so much of the flows underlying gain investment of the duration of flow, and this suggests already of the fragment of in the time of the past. The opportunity of asking the rock layers to show that flooding happened before these impacts. However, only craters that show evidence of have been formed for the flooding of the appearance of the. Okay. Any plan on social understand its water flowing in a catastrophic manner, as well as the Zara zone. In Figure 5, they just consent of the flow channel, and the sides have shown evidence of flowing of over underlying terrain, of chaotic fashion, similar of the terrain of the termination of a good flow, of a mud flow. That suggests that many are okay, but them by. Okay, suffered by the constructed flooding as the times have passed. The fact of these craters, which were blasted through the layers of rocks, shows that by flooding of happening before these impacts. However, these craters and the area show evidence have been formed. Where the big craters show. Okay, we're having these events. When these craters show evidence of having been formed by the flooding of the sediment patterns of the craters. These craters have nutrients of deposits against the crater wall in the opposite direct flow of the water. Now let's take a look at the article Life in Mars Volcano. Okay, every year searching for life on Mars, scientists have finally found it. Okay, maybe not, but okay. But it seems like I can gain warmer. Is all this? Okay, where is it? Cellulose. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, but do you think I gain warmer? We're just like, where's a science article? A Martian volcano have water, and therefore we help our life. The vocation of the huge response under 3 times as high as Earth's Mount Everest. Scientists have evidence structure Olympus Mons believe it formed, which indicates that, or at some point indicates. Because Mons have water inside of it. Okay, this sign has been an organization of the next level. The Guns of War has been juggled graduates. Here, okay. Thus, you have a value, okay, of the latest organization, altered by the assumption that they can evolve wherever the ingredients or are found as radiation of inside of the spawn and speculate are the ingredients ever exist on it. We have, I believe. Okay, we assume it evolved and it's a try. Okay, it's relation of a headline must to cover life. Of course, its idea has been water has been someplace on Mars. The revolutionary. Sometimes just a flood or history. Okay, as a trend, the side Mars volcano could harbor life. Of course, as has been water and takes some place. The visionary sign generate. Okay, it's a visionary. Scientists generally accept the idea of the global flood and Martian history while rejecting it on Earth, and also maybe water, ice flow of the Martian race. Okay, Martian surface. But the jump from the water to life is the high to evolutionary assumptions. Okay. Okay, so then, okay, I'm going to show you assumption. Okay, so I'm done reading this article. So now, I'm trying to get safe according to the Bible, okay? The point of evolution is a damn souls to hell, and also the point of the flat earth is a damn souls to hell as well. And when you go to heaven, it is to believe all Lord Jesus Christ is by faith and good suggests alone and save us, so it's truth, and you can't believe that salvation is easy. It is believing in truth as for salvation. And the next video is what does the Bible say about Ceres? It's okay. Let's say about the dwarf planet. What does it say about Ceres? Now, Ceres is a dwarf planet, but since it's between Mars and Jupiter, I'll talk about that next video. I talk about Mars and Jupiter, Ukraine. Okay? No, sorry. No, sorry. Dwarf planet. Sorry. So this video is called. It's supposed to say about Ceres. So okay. 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 So this one's called. This one's called. So then the next video is what is about Ceres. Okay, I'm talking about the dwarf planet got Ceres, the one that's between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so I'll talk about Ceres next video. Okay, because it's gonna go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Just bye. Okay, so now I have to go right now. So thank you for watching the screen with Joseph. Bye.